Welcome back to Diesel Works. Today has been, as best I can describe, just a day. Was going to get parts, and I left my phone. We stopped to get fuel. Had my phone sitting on top of the truck. Drove off after I filled up. After my AirPods disconnected, I realized, left my phones. So, backtracked down the road a couple miles, found both phones, luckily. I don't think they were run over, but they definitely got smashed. So, now it's time for new phones. What else do we got here? So, the air compressor started getting real slow to build air, and it was hissing. Turns out the head gasket right in here blew out. They're just these little crap paper gaskets. You got this is like the plate that sits on top. It sits like that, actually. And then, it does sit like that. And then you got a gasket on top and bottom. Well, it blew out right there, the old gasket. So it couldn't build more than like 60 pounds because it was losing it all through here. So order new gaskets. And FedEx, for some reason, I don't know why, but shipping here is a nightmare no matter what I do. My shop goes all the way through the building. So we're 2 units. So when you put that on the address, I don't know why, but it's when you put that, people forget how to read the number on the side of the building or the name on the package. And constantly, when we get packages, they either say we're not here because they go to one door that we're not at, and they knock, which we can't hear, even though every package gets told, leave it here, no matter what, just leave it. And never. So we were here, and then we had to leave to go get parts. I want to say like 10:15, 10:30 we left. At 10, I get a notification, your package couldn't be delivered, no one was there. Well, what are you talking about? We were right here. Got the cameras to show trucks out back. Nobody was out front. No one was delivering parts. No one got out of the truck. But somehow, without them coming in, said we weren't here. So then it said, we'll leave a note, sticker on the door. You can come get it. No sticker. So about 3 phone calls later, for the first time ever, I got them to come back and bring it back so I could fix my air compressor. Because without the air compressor, can't finish the S10 frame. Now, if you've seen the other videos, this frame's a little upside down now compared to before. And that's because I had this square stock. I welded it to the bottom on the front, back of the frame, top and bottom, to brace it. So whenever this back got cut off, the frame wouldn't flex left or right or in and out. Well, because of that, there's this gap where the square stock was, where I didn't get to weld this seam. Now, like I said before, I am by no means a welder, and trying to weld upside down originally was just, like I said, not a welder. So once we finished the top, basically got the backs all welded in here, that like outriggers, and I had to make some pieces to make it fit. Then we cut off the beam. I flipped it over, so now I can grind down these excuses for welds and then redo it on either side. I don't know about properly, but at least a lot better. But to be able to do that and run the die grinders and all that fun stuff, need the air compressor. So let's put this back together, and then we can start grinding away on the S10. All right, so this is the top, like, I don't know if you call it a head or just, it's the top plate for the compressor. And then this is your, they just call it like a intermediate plate or whatever, but it's actually considered, I guess it'd be, you know, a very rudimentary cylinder head, because these little metal tabs in here are valves. It's just air to go in and not let it come back out. So this is new. I've actually replaced these gaskets once before they leaked out, and I found out after I did just the gaskets that you're supposed to do this plate every time you do the gaskets. I guess maybe it warps or it doesn't seal right, but so took this off. It was all nasty with some brown crap in there and just burnt junk. So soaked it in the parts washer, scrubbed it out, as good as it's gonna get. And then we'll take this gasket, line that up here, like so. And then the air filter assembly goes in here. Actually, I lied. It goes in the top first. Couldn't remember. It slides down in, there's a groove. Then you got this metal plate. It's like just some expanded metal that goes behind it to stop it from sucking all the way in. And then just kind of get it in the groove. I'm just using this flathead to try and help line it up. It's just like a felt material, it's nothing fancy. Take the bolts, just use them kind of as alignment pins, stick them through the corner, holds the gasket up, holds the bolt. Slide that on like so. Throw the bolts on either end in. And then we can slide this gasket on. like that. Now, the instructions or the torque specs show it's some weird number, like 220 inch-pounds, something like that. I think it's 220. Regardless of the inch-pounds, this my like normal torque wrench only goes to its foot-pounds, and on the instructions it listed inch-pounds and newton-meters, and it ends up being 33.9 newton-meters, like, is the max, and then it's like 29 to 33 newton-meters, something like that. So we're gonna go like 31, 32, yeah, 31 and a half, 32, something like that. Now, the other thing too, the instructions show, because this is aluminum, after, I forget, a couple hours or something like that, you're supposed to retighten the bolts to make sure they torque right. What I found though is over time, even retorquing them, they come loose a good bit. So, a little bit of Loctite, never hurt no one. So we're gonna put a little dab will do ya. Ooh, that was too much. Oh, 1, 2, 4. All right. So now, let's go put it on. So now we're just gonna get this aligned on there, and then we will give it a torque. All right, so we got the torque wrench. Right now, we just want to get them all snug. And get it all kind of down evenly. We don't need to put a ton of torque on it yet. It's mainly just getting everything seated, so that way when it does come time to put the final torque on everything, I'm trying to use two hands, one-handed film. So that way, once we do put the final torque on it, we're not pulling down one side significantly more than the other. The goal is to try and pull everything down at once. Let's try this. Once they get a little tight, then it's a lot easier to use the ratchet. There is a torque sequence for this that we will follow once it gets down low enough. But for now, like I said, I'm just trying to get this even and pulled down. That way, it's not, these paper gaskets are kind of crappy and they tear super easily, especially with like sharp-edged aluminum. And if you tighten one side too much, you end up tearing it and then it's junk. So now we can follow the torque spec. All right. Let's make sure. Oh, that's foot-pounds. Yep, we're in the right spot. right, there's one. That ain't good. Not good at all. All right, so as you saw, I was mid-torque with this, and I saw something fall out, drop out. This little piece right here. Now, this thing is brand new. Literally brand new. This was the first time it was ever used. I got it because I have an electric one that I'm about to get out, but I had it being rebuilt. So I had to torque the triple clamps on my Harley. Didn't have what I knew to be a good torque wrench. Used an old one. Ended up way over torquing the fork tubes. And that's a mistake you only make once. So as expensive as this thing was, to me, it was worth buying a backup, the old click type, because I didn't want to make any mistakes like that again. Now, the first time, and then this piece was way out. I'm guessing, this is how the head attaches to the fork, or to the tube itself. But like, I don't know if that's sheared off or it's meant to be like that. A rivet of some kind, I don't know. Either way, how do you trust that? I can't use this. Literally the first time I go to use it, it legitimately falls apart. So now we come over to the toolbox. We grab this one. Yep, I leave the batteries in it. Kill me. Don't care. No, not really. I don't leave the batteries in it all the time. It's just, I just got it back like a couple days ago. And I didn't take them out. Which, Snap-on shipped it to me with the batteries in it. So, there's that. Let's see. Okay. Let's go to Newton meters. We'll go to 30. Put our socket on. Alright, so let's see. That was what we did. Probably should be using a shallow socket, but oh well. All right, now we're gonna take the socket off. We're gonna put this back. Okay, so now that the head's torqued, we put these bolts back in for the cover. And then those lines, I have them just snugged so they didn't, you know, they lined up, and then we'll tighten those up. Set that down. Now we can spin that one on. I loosened up this bottom one just a hair so I could move the line if I had to. I apologize for the camera angle. This is all new to me. I mean, not the work, but holding the camera and recording it, definitely different. Not something I can say I'm used to by any means. All right, pull the rag. Now, let's see if it blows up. So far, so good. She's building air. If you can hear air leaking, it's this. Until it builds a few PSI, this spits out air. It's like an auto drain. Got to change that one. And the incandescent, the desiccant little balls need changed. So back to the S10. I was grinding down my sad excuses for welds so I could redo them, and it's not, you know, an embarrassment every time someone takes a look at it. But here's, like I said, the section that goes across where I had those bars, and once I got them out, I flipped the frame over because I suck at welding upside down, you know, so it was easier to flip this thing over. If I had a rotisserie, that'd be great, but you know, work with what you got. But these plates, they don't sit in the frame. I guess they sit just to the edge of it, so that way it meets up and has a 90, like it makes a 90 with the frame. The biggest problem is this is a 30-year-old frame, and from years of jacking it up and down, you know, because obviously this is the bottom, you're putting a jack on that piece of metal right there, lift the car up, whatever. Well, it's just C-channel and it's thin on that bottom, so the bottom would get bent up. Both of them were like that, and those plates are just you know, I'm sure they're cut on like a CNC laser or something like that, just by the dozens, and they're a certain size. Well, the top was okay, but then the bottom was all sorts of wavy, and because of that, I had to go and tweak it, you know, every couple inches up, down, just a little bit to get it as close as possible, which you're never going to get it perfect. Like, there was just no way. I mean, I tried the straight edges with clamps. I tried a bunch of different ways, but I couldn't get it, you know, perfect down the whole seam. So I got as best I could. And then this side I just got done redoing, and, you know, hey, it's good for me. It ain't gonna go nowhere. It looks semi-okay. You know, yeah. I've seen much worse. Trust me. I've seen so much worse with, well, way more dangerous kind of crap going down the street. You'd be amazed. People's car is what they're held together with. Even trucks. I've seen so many trucks that it looks like someone took their first welding class on the frame of the truck. I mean, they got wires sticking out. It's a miracle it even holds. And so for me, I'm happy with it. It'll hold. And unless somebody would like to come here that can do it better than me and do this all for free, I'm good with the comments. So, you know, just another little step towards getting it done. The K member should be shipping out this week, supposedly. I got told that last week too, so who knows. But then we get to, that's why I left the bars on the front, because from about there forwards getting cut off, that cross member's coming out. But I figured I'd finish the back entirely. Once I got that side welded up and done. This side I got it ground down, so now I just gotta run my beads and then pretty much flip it over, clean it up, and then once the K member comes, she's ready for paint. Ooh, sorry, camera angle. Yeah, she's ready for paint. So now we just wait. Hopefully the parts show up pretty soon and go from there. All right, see ya.